Welcome to this Believe in NFL Draft Prospect podcast. This is an interview edition. We are bringing you an inside look to some of the fantastic football players in all of college football. We have turned the page fully on the 2021 NFL Draft. So we are bringing you the future stars of the NFL draft cycle. I could be talking to a young man that has been on my radar now for a little bit. I was watching Chris Rump from Duke. I was watching Victor, number 51. Not going to try to pronounce his last name. And I just keep coming back to this linebacker, number 42. Now, he's a redshirt junior, so could be a part of the 2022 draft, could be a part of the 2023. Really depends on, I'm sure, how the next season comes up for him. But I'm joined now by Shaka Heyward, star linebacker from Duke University. Shaka, appreciate you, man, taking some time today. How's everything been going for you, man?
Everything's been good. I appreciate you. Everything's been good. Just been summer workout, summer classes. Still grinding, summer session, getting ready for the season. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I know I want to ask, a little bit about the pandemic and just all the craziness surrounding it in a minute or so. But I know that it must be nice for you to, you had spring ball, you're getting back to what seems like a more normalized system. It seems like more normalized schedule, obviously. What's it like for you just to kind of know, put it in the rear view a little bit and just know moving forward, you're going to be in what it would appear to be a more normalized season coming up here?
Oh, yeah, it definitely feels good. Just being able to be with the team because, last year with COVID, nobody knew what was going on. We didn't know if we were going to even have a season. So, we were at home just trying to work out on our own. So, this year has been great, just being back with the team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know I wanted to, I had done my research on you, looking back to you at Mill Creek High School. I was looking into your recruiting profile, all that good stuff. I kind of want to start you out there coming out of Mill Creek. I know you're a Georgia guy originally. What was it about Duke University specifically that really stood out for you? And just maybe a little bit of a glimpse into the recruiting and overall for you.
Oh, yeah, the recruiting process was, for me, it was, I really didn't know where I wanted to go. My dream school was LSU, but after taking a visit to Duke, and I had to talk with Coach Ferris, and the whole visit, it just felt like meant to be like a family. They preached family, and it really felt like that with the coaches and the players that were already there. They're all very welcoming. And then another huge thing was obviously a Duke education. That's a premier, that education is just it's just one of a kind, You go around the world and say you graduated from Duke, people just look at you different. So I definitely took that into consideration. And then my dream to play in the NFL, I knew you could get looks from anywhere. And with Duke being a Power 5 school, it was just a no-brainer for me. So that's why I chose Duke.
Yeah, I love that you talked a little bit, Shaka, about the importance of the education, obviously. I've talked to a couple guys from Duke in the past, and I know that is obviously a huge reason to, attend the university, but then, we're talking about life after football a little bit. What was the transition like when you first maybe got there and then you saw the workload of being a student athlete at Duke? Because I know, like you said, it's one of the finest academic institutions, but with that phenomenal degree that you're going to get, obviously a lot of work there.
Right. Yeah. So, they did a good job of taking the freshmen into summer classes by themselves. They do a good job in indoctrinating them into just the way Duke works. So me being a redshirt in my freshman year, I was able to focus more on school and just get a feel for how it would be practicing with the heavy workload with school as well. So, it was good. There's also a lot of people at Duke that are going to be able to help you in many ways. And academically is definitely one that they strive to help you in because we try to maintain a 3.0 GPA year round.
Absolutely. And I know it's probably a little bit of a mixed feeling because I know everybody wants to go into college and they want to play and they want to contribute early. You mentioned the redshirt year a little bit. I know you were able to play in 4 games with the redshirt rule and all that good stuff. Besides for the acclimatization to the college life and the ability to get right in the classroom that first year, how much was that season for you a big help in developing your body, just getting used to the speed? How much was it to help as a football player?
Yeah, it was definitely huge because I just learned from Joe Giles Harris. He was Joe and Ben. They both taught me just take care of your body. Like when I was in camp, I was a young guy, so I just felt great. I could go in there just day to day and not really feel too bad. But then being older guy, they just told me like to make sure you take care of your body because it definitely catches up to you. Wear and tear is real. So yeah.
Yeah. And I know for NFL draft fans out there, specifically, I know that the things that really stood out to me on tape when watching you felt like you had a great eyes, great feel for the game, but you have that long frame that I think teams are going to love, especially in the game now where they're really trying to manipulate space a ton. I feel like that length and that athleticism is going to be a big help. But then the ability that you have as a striker, like you create a lot of power in some very tight spaces, which took me off guard a little bit with the kind of the more slender frame that you have that I think you put on a ton more weight. Over the last couple of years, Shaka, I know that you have had obviously huge improvements in your game. What do you think specifically are a couple of things that have been pivotal for your development as a football player?
For me, like you said, I've always been a range guy, run sideline to sideline, and always been a hitter too, a runner and a hitter. So, but a big thing for me that I've been working on my game a lot is just, block shedding, and then just learning the game a lot more, just film study. I take that into a huge account because the more film you watch, the more you just see things happen, the slower it'll be for you. So I'm just trying to just really be a student of the game in that way, and I feel like that would definitely help me out. And also, like I said earlier, just using my hands a lot more, block shedding.
And for to kind of continue with the film study aspect of everything, I know obviously we're talking about a lot of self-evaluation. I'm sure you're watching yourself a ton, seeing what you can improve on. But on the other side of the coin, are there some players, it could be past, present, NFL guys, some guys that maybe you like to watch a ton to emulate to a degree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I watch Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner. And then I also like to watch just, different defenses and see like how I would fit in that defense, what kind of defense they run, who they like to utilize, what kind of players they like to utilize. And yeah, just trying to like fit myself in different schemes.
Mm-hmm. And I know that I'm already a big fan of you. I think that you're not only, one of the best linebackers, defenders, I should say, in the ACC. I think you're potentially going to make that jump to be considered one of the best in all of college football. For you to potentially make that jump and to be considered one of the absolute best at your position in the nation, what do you feel like is the next step for you developmentally wise?
I would say, just consistently having a great game. I can't have 8 great games and only have 4 mediocre games. I need to have it every single game. So I feel like that would take me from, like you said, being just the best in the ACC to best in the country. So I feel like just being consistent and making sure I have a great game every game.
And I probably should have started you out with this one, Shaka. I know that a lot of people are going to read into the bio and then they're going to see, late uncle, of course, was the great Ironhead Heyward. Your cousins with Cameron Heyward, who is one of the best interior defensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been for the last decade or so. And then also Connor Heyward that has played at Michigan State as well. So you come from a football family. I'm sure it's been with you for a long time. When did you start playing? And maybe just when did the love for the game begin for you?
I really always loved the game. I started playing right after my brother played. I was 6 years old when I started playing. But the year before that, when I was 5, I just watched my brother play. And he was running. I used to play running back. He was running back. It was just fun watching him like run all up and down the field, just having fun. And that's really where it came from.
I love it. And I kind of want to ask a little bit about the Duke lineage defensively you guys have going, because I mentioned Victor in the intro there a little bit. I mentioned Chris Rumph, like some fantastic football players who just got drafted. Marquise Waters, I know, who transferred over to Texas Tech, was an outstanding football player. Mark Gilbert, I know, is going to get a shot in the NFL if he can stay healthy. I know he's very talented. Looking at the guys that you all have been able to put out specifically on defense, what's it like for you to know that, hey, I could be the next guy in line to continue what you guys have really in the last few years established as a nice little pipeline of defensive talent?
It definitely feels great, but it's just work. Those guys all came in just gave their best every time they were with the team on the field. And then even afterwards, after practice or after a lift, doing extra to make sure they stay ahead of the competition. And, I'm just trying to, do the same pretty much, really. Yeah, it's just work.
Yeah, and I know that Coach Cutcliffe has obviously done a great job at Duke. I know you guys are coming off, a little bit of a up and down season. The pandemic, I think, really, affected a lot of teams, unfortunately. But I'm just curious on now transitioning to 2021. We talked about it being a little bit more of a normalized season. What are some goals that you have from an individual perspective, and what are some goals for the team in general that you think would make it a successful 2021?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something that we've been on since the beginning of since the end of last season, really, which is leadership, just leadership everywhere. Accountability, just upholding the standard. Last year, like you said, COVID did hit. We weren't able to be with the team. It was a lot of individual workouts, just everyone at their home doing their own thing. But when we're a team, we can all hold each other accountable, be leaders, and just uphold each other to a high standard.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of the last question I have for you, Shaka. Obviously, I'm a guy that thinks that you are going to have a very good NFL career potentially eventually. I think that teams are going to value, like you kind of said, you have that length, that athleticism, run and chase feel that the NFL is really valuing now. Whether that is 2022 NFL draft, whether that is 2023 NFL draft, whatever it ends up being, just what type of blessing overall will it be for you to know that eventually you're going to join, several family members who have already made it to the NFL, but just for your own personal journey?
I mean, that would be great because that is my dream, playing the NFL. Yeah, that would definitely mean a lot to me to continue my career because I'm definitely just not done yet. I feel like there's I can get a lot better. I feel like there's a lot more for me to learn, a lot more for me to grow. Yeah, I'm excited, to say the least.
And if you missed our breakdown of the linebacker group potentially for 2022, all the guys that are draft eligible, I did mention Shaka Heyward, a part of that piece. I would go back and take a look, go a little more in depth on what makes this Duke linebacker very special. But Shaka, appreciate you, man, again, taking a little bit of time here today. This was awesome, getting a little of the background story, man. I really appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate you.